What happened to the 7 days? In Leviticus 13, a person with a skin disease was examined, isolated for 7 days, and re-examined. There was a process, there was hope. There was a way back. But by the time Jesus walked the earth, those with skin diseases were no longer waiting 7 days. They were standing at a distance, living outside the city, avoided, untouched. What changed? Was the disease worse, or did the distance grow greater than what God intended? In Leviticus, the priest was accessible. The unclean person did not hide in shame forever. He went to the priest. The priest examined carefully, waited patiently, and looked again. Healing was not produced by the priest. Only God heals. But the priest confirmed restoration. There was structure, there was order. There was expectation. Isolation was never meant to become abandonment. 7 days meant discernment. 7 days meant, let's see what God is doing. 7 days meant there was still a possibility of being declared clean. But in the Gospels, something feels different. In Mark 1, a man with leprosy does something unthinkable. He approaches Jesus. According to the law, people should have stepped away. Instead, Jesus steps closer. He touches the untouchable. And instead of uncleanness spreading to him, cleansing flows from him. And then he says something surprising. Go, show yourself to the priest. The priesthood became a system that could identify the problem, but it could no longer bring the healing it was meant to. Jesus shows us the reason. The structure was never the enemy. It was pointing towards something greater. The priest could examine, the priest could declare, but only God could restore. And now God himself was standing in front of the broken. What happened to the 7 days? They were always pointing to something greater. They were pointing to the day when holiness would no longer guard itself by distance, but would move toward the suffering. The day when the presence of God would not wait behind a curtain, but would walk into the streets and touch the excluded. The tragedy was not that Leviticus was wrong. The tragedy was when temporary isolation turned into permanent rejection. But Jesus did not come to condemn the structure. He came to fulfill it. The priest represented the presence of God. Jesus is the presence of God. And when holiness walks toward suffering, distance loses its power.